This week I learned I gotta stop giving you guys an order in those TBR videos because I'm not sticking to it. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update. We're going into the second week of June here, getting close to that halfway point of the year. But this month's off to a terrific start, and we're going to talk about that, guys, and more like usual by beginning with What Am I Reading? Well, I started last week. I did finish it today, guys. The Will of the Many by Mr. James Islington. Guys, I have kind of a mixed reaction to this. It's mixed to positive, don't get me wrong. And I think I kind of felt similar while I was reading the first Heinous book. And it's just because Mr. Islington is the type that likes to set up so many threads that aren't going to pay off until book 3. So you might finish the first book and kind of be like, I don't understand what's going on. I think that's on purpose because I'm not going to lie to you guys. It may just be me being a dummy, which is quite possible. Or it may be completely intentional that the epilogue to this book, I have no idea what happened. I do not understand. It's one of those things I'm like, I'm going to have to reread that twice, probably. I think I'm going to have to read it again after I read book number 2 when it comes out. But I'll be honest, this book, the first half of it, I was kind of like, I don't understand what everyone else is seeing. Why is everyone else saying that this book is amazing? Now, look, as I've finished it, I think it's a really good book. I still don't see it being this 11 out of 10 like I've seen a lot of my peers given. I'm not sure exactly what they're seeing, and I think that did kind of affect my reading experience with it. Is so many people that I trust were saying this is like their book of the year. I've heard some people saying that that we're lucky enough to get a review copy of Lightbringer saying that this is actually the best book that they've read this year. And so I think I went to it with my expectations kind of sky high, and as I'm reading, I'm like, it's good. I'm just not seeing anything that's just completely blowing me away like it is everyone else. But again, I think that's kind of an unfair expectation of it. It is very cool. It has some interesting ideas. I'll say that when it got to part 3 in the book, it was everything I wanted it to be. It started giving me the all the back history that I was kind of lacking with this character. Because you get the kind of the premise of this character at the beginning, and you hear about, okay, this happened. You don't hear anything about it at all until you get to Act 3. And then it gives you a lot of those answers, and it clears a lot of things up. And I start saying, okay, I understand what we're doing now. But there is this, I guess you call it the central part of the book where I was like, I don't know if I really get what's going on here. So again, that could be a me thing. That could be a James thing. That could be something just the way that he's setting things up. But then you got to the epilogue and it was like, what? So it was one of those things where I'm like, look, if he sticks the landing, it's going to be fine. But if not, right now, I'm like, that's like a Brent Weeks twist. And you guys know how I feel about those. So I think that's kind of just where I'm kind of like, to be determined on how I feel. Look, I like it enough that I'm going to be continuing with book number 2, without a doubt. And I know that people are going to take this as I didn't like the book, because I did say that, about the 60% mark, I was still waiting for it to get amazing. And so that turned into, well, Mike hates this book. That's how it usually goes, on social media reactions. That's why I don't like to usually talk about books very much until I'm done with them and let them marinate for at least a day or so, because instant reactions, I think, are always going to be taken out of context. Now, again, I think that myself and one other person on my Discord were the only ones that have had anything negative to say about this book. Everybody else, it has been over-the-top praise. So I think I would go with the numbers on that one. And again, let me reiterate, guys, I think it's a very, very good book. I just didn't find anything just that blew me away, like it seems to be doing a lot of other booktubers. But I want you guys to read it because I think I would love to talk to you about it. And I'd like for you to explain that ending to me like I'm 5. Maybe then I can understand. And what I was kind of joking about in the cold open there, about not following my TBR. Look, I am following my TBR. Everything that I set up that I was going to read in June, I haven't broken out of that. I just say in that video, this is the order I'm going to read in. I'm not doing that at all. I said I was going to start with Expanse, and I started with Will of the Many. And then, even today, I said, okay, I'm going to be starting that Hobb book and that Expanse book next. And then I picked this up and started reading it. Here, let me explain. With this, look, guys, very short. I'm already halfway done with it. The thing with the Exile is there's a character in book number 2 of Ryan's Bound and the Broken series that I really want to know a lot about. And this book is all the back history and explanation about how that character got to that point. And I just wanted to know, I was like, look, I don't want to go through a Robin Hobb book and an Expanse book before I get those answers. This is 140 pages let me just go ahead and just knock it out. I'll be done with it this time tomorrow. I'm cool with that. And then I'll go right into my other stuff that I had planned. So just doing things a little out of order. I had this planned already to do this month, but my God, guys, wow, man. I had a lot of people tell me they think that up to this point in the series, because they say that every book is better than the last one, that this was like the best thing here. I was like, really? A novella is better than book 2? Really? Wow. Guys, this slaps. This was amazing. I'm like blown away by some of the stuff. And what I said about The Fall is that I feel like if they were trying to adapt this, it's unfilmable. This is even bigger than that. It's like, oh my God, just like the first like 20 pages, you're gonna be like, holy shit, man. But Dane is just a character I am absolutely vibing with. I told Ryan I feel like he's very much a Malazan character, and I mean that in the best way. I really do feel like he could fit in that world. He really is just good dude, but man, if you cross him, look the hell out. He's an awesome, awesome character, and I'm loving getting all this backstory to him now, and it's making me like him even more. But I would say at this point of the series, I am absolutely 100% without a doubt House of Tears by Blade and by Blood, my man. I am House of Tears. I am loving it. So going to continue with that, finish that up, and then guys, that's going to lead me to what am I going to read now? Just said it. I am going to start with The Expanse. I'm going to be reading The Churn, which is Amos's backstory that takes place before this. Obviously, it takes place actually before the whole series, but it's best apparently to read right before this one. And then, of course, book number 4 is Cibola Burn, or Ciabatta Burn, or whatever. Burn Ciabatta. Everybody's just kind of joking about the name because no one is exactly sure how to say it. I don't audio. Then maybe that. Actually, no. I don't think they ever say the names of the books in the books. The titles of the books aren't actually ever said in the books. I don't know if they even say the word Cibola or Cibola or Cibola or Ciabatta, whatever that word is. But I'll be digging into that. I'm excited to continue. Like I said, I felt like that season of the show very much felt like a Western, and I'm interested to see if that's how it was written. So I think that could be a lot of fun. It's supposed to be a very, very Amos heavy book, and that's why obviously you're reading The Churn first, and I'm excited to do it because Amos is a character I loved. I think my only gripes about the series up to this point, the books, not the show, the books has been I'd like to see more about the Rocinante crew besides just in Holden's head. So if we're going to get to maybe see some other characters get the spotlight a little more, I think I am on board for that. So I am excited to continue with that world. And if I get to know more about our favorite little mechanic there, it sounds like a good time. And I'm also going to be doing this at the same time, guys, and let me explain why. Heard so much about this Hobbs series, the Rain Wild Chronicles, with Dragon Keeper especially, as it might be. It seems like when everybody's ranking their Realm of the Eldlings books, it's in the bottom 2, usually. And I want to kind of see if I can lower the expectations enough to where I can't feel that way. I know that probably sounds like it worked with me with Crossroads of Twilight. Everybody told me Crossroads of Twilight is going to be like the worst 700 pages of your life. And it wasn't great, but it wasn't AIDS. I wasn't reading AIDS, So I'm thinking if I read this concurrently with The Expanse, whenever I'm starting to get frustrated with this, I can just go back to Outer Space and feel that vibe a little bit. So I think reading those concurrently, I always tell people, if you're going to read multiple books at once, make sure they're different genres. I think that helps a lot. So big time fantasy and a space opera at the same time. Sounds like it could be a good mix, but I think that's pretty much everything I'm going to get into for this week, because these 2 books, it's pretty short for a Hobb book, but that's pretty good length there. But these actually have regular size font in them, unlike that James Islington book where the font was teeny weeny. Like that book doesn't look that book. It looks like that Expanse book is bigger than the James Islington book. It's not. This James Islington book was basically, it would have been about the same length as a Lycanius book if the font had been print like it was, and the binding had been like it was with those Lycanius books. But guys, that's everything that I plan to read. After that, the only thing I've got left for the month would be the Mark Lawrence Book of the Ancestor stuff, but I don't suspect that I will be getting to that next week. How about this week on the channel, guys? I have some stuff. I just talked about Ryan Cahill. Had lots of Ryan Cahill stuff on the channel this week. It's kind of a theme that's going down. Well, I did go ahead and do my review for The Fall and A Blood and Fire, and also the big question that I get, which one should I read first? I do answer that in that video. I knew I was going to be having Ryan on, so I kind of waited to do that review right before I had him on, because I felt like that can build anticipation. Because in the end, guys, I am a marketing minor, so I do try to play into these things. But I don't know if that worked or not, but I do see that there is a lot of people that are saying in the comments they're going to pick the books up, and I'm very, very excited that you are. It seems like a series. it was taken off before I started talking about it, and now that I think I've got my audience interested in it, I'm hoping you guys do pick it up and give it a try. Again, like I say in the video, guys, you can get the fall for free. Get you a nice little taste. Get you a little sample of those drugs and find out if you want the next round. You know, the first round is free. But then I did talk about the series and other things with Ryan Cahill on Interview with the Author on Tuesday night. We did that live. Guys, we almost talked for 3 hours. We talked for about an hour after we got off the stream. So, yeah, I've learned a lot about what it takes to be a self-pub author. And I think it's one of those things, like, even if you haven't read the series, it's spoiler-free, guys. You're fine. Say you are a self-pub author or an indie author, or you're looking to be. I think you're going to get tons of great advice from Ryan in that, because he's had a lot of success doing it this way. And it's no, as he puts it in that video, it's no one silver bullet. It's a multitude of different things that he has done to be successful. And I think you can learn quite a few things I've watched that. But just what a great guy. Super, super awesome. Amazing accent. But yeah, we probably could have talked. We could probably still be talking, honestly. I mean, I think he and I both have that blessing and curse thing where we can talk to anyone for hours without end. And that's a good thing, I think. But it can also get you in some trouble, because I'm like, wow, I got to get up in 4 hours and we're still talking, you know. So it worked out great. Believe it or not, with him being in New Zealand, it worked out great, because 7 o'clock at night for me was like lunchtime for him. So it worked out really, really good. I'm happy that he did come on the channel, and you guys get to see what a magnetic personality that he is. And like I said, you can learn a lot of things from him if you are looking to get in to this business. And then I just did a book haul, guys, my book haul for May of 2023. Awesome book haul. So many amazing things from you guys. I'm glad I always get to tell you thank you for sending me those things. It means the world to me. And getting to show you what they look like, how they match, how they don't match, all that stuff that you guys know what is in a book haul at this point. But you guys seem to still enjoy the book hauls. So I will keep making them as long as you guys, keep watching them. You know, that's how it is with everything here. As long as you watch it, I'm going to make it. But that's all I really did on the channel this week, guys. I do have some plans for next week. Now, next week, I think it's going to be a little bit of up in the air about some things, because I do got some stuff going on. So we're going to kind of see what happens. We're going to begin the week. I think my review, I've got to do Dark Age. I got to review Dark Age. That's Red Rising number 5. I got to review that because I got to talk to Howlerpod and Spoiler Talk. And the format has been that I do the spoiler-free review before I do the spoiler talk. And I think we're going to be doing that in 2 weeks. So I probably should do the Dark Age review sometime this week. Also, am going to be doing a spoiler talk, but not for Dark Age, guys. I'll be doing it for Lonesome Dove. I'm going to have a nice little trail ride group I put together here. My good friend Madison is going to be joining me. A.R. Witham, the author of Legend of Blackjack. Brian Lee Durfee, the author of Five Warrior Angels, and of course Brian Lee Durfee Reviews. Awesome guy. Brian was actually very instrumental in getting me to read Lonesome Dove, you know, because I was real big about, I love the miniseries, but I don't know, I'm just not really into Westerns. And he's like, it just doesn't matter. He was right. He was very much right about that. So first thing I did was ask him if he wanted to be a part of that, because I can't wait to hear him talk about what he has said is his favorite book of all time. And of course, the other two on the call were quite fans as well. Can't wait to talk to them about what made Lonesome Dove such an amazing experience for me, and what makes it, honestly, guys, one of the greatest books I've ever read in my life. I can't wait to talk about it. So I talked about that review copy for Lightbringer. I was still like up in the air if I was going to get one or not. So today I just said, look, if I don't get one, the plan right now is I'm going to be doing the first reading sprints on my channel. All of this is going to be next week. I just forgot to tell you guys about it because it did happen this week. As I said, I would be doing my first reading sprints on the channel. The day of release, that evening, me and some fellow howlers get together. We'll do our first reading sprints on the channel. You don't know what those are, guys? You literally just read. I mean, it really is all you do. But again, I haven't done it on my channel yet because I don't feel like that's something my audience is interested in. Watching other people read, I don't know. But I thought, hey, this is Lightbringer. This is a big deal. Then Pierce Brown texted me and said, oh yeah, your review copy's on the way already. I sent it to you personally. So it's like, okay, well, I had already made that decision. I wasn't going to read it, but Pierce is sending it to me. I'm gonna read it, guys. So when it is in my hand, I will read it. If it does not show up, some reason, whatever, it gets lost in the mail, something like that, I'll be reading it with everyone else. So that's just one of those things that's up in the air. I don't know if I'll still be doing the reading sprints if I read it early. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm kind of noodling something right now. with that. Just know that on release day, we'll be doing something special for Lightbringer. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll be doing something special. As for next week, though, I do have one more, and this is going to be a little crazy because I've never done this video on the channel. I've always been too scared to do it, but I think I'm finally, against my better judgment, I'm going to risk it. I think I'm going to try to do my top 10 books of all time. Of all time! And I already know there's people being like, oh, well, don't put any stupid rules on it. Guys, I got stupid rules on it. I got stupid rules on it. One series don't count as one book. That's a big one. And the one that everybody seems to hate, and I'm sorry, it's just what it is I will only do one by each author. And the reason is, guys, because no one wants to watch a top 10 and like 6 of them are Stephen King books. Okay? That's why I do it that way. So I think I'll be doing that if I can get it. I just started jotting books down. And I'm kind of narrowing it down to about 20 right now. I'm going to kind of narrow it down. So it's I'm excited that I've got that low already. But that should be sometime next week. It's something that people have asked me for a long time. So I'm real big about giving the people what they want, even if that is a very, very nerve-wracking video to make, because it feels like as soon as I press publish, I'll want to change something. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. So that'll be top 10 books of all time as of 2023, like I did with my top 10 fantasy series. And I do have one that's not going to be here, guys, but tomorrow morning over on MJ's channel. It's Reading This Life. MJ is going to have me on as a guest on her channel, just talking about, you know, what it takes to build a YouTube channel, things like that, and just chat. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. She has a very, very nice channel. I love MJ because she's a Gen Xer like me, so I think we have a lot in common already. And I love going on other people's channels because, like I always joke, I don't have to edit anything when it's done. It's great. So thank you, MJ, so much for the invite. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. I'll link her channel down below, guys, and I'll link the video here so you guys can make sure you can watch live with us on Saturday morning if you guys want. I think it's going to be about 9 a.m. my time in Houston. So use World Clock or timeanddate.com, guys, to find out what time that will be for you. That's all I got for the books, guys. There are a couple of TV and movie talk things, not a ton, because I've been busy with other things. The Flash, that's coming out. The reviews have been good, not as great. Those first impressions that came out, everyone was saying was amazing. They've been really, really good. But here's the thing: I started digging into those reviews. Like as of recording this, I think it was sitting at like 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I started reading some of the negative reviews, and it's all about Ezra Miller. And now, look, I'm not a fan of Ezra Miller. I think he's, for lack of a better phrase, guys, I think he's a kind of a garbage human being. You know, so I get that. But what I'm like when I'm talking about movies is, how is the movie, though? That's what I want to know. How is the movie? And when everyone's talking about the movie, they're saying it's a really great movie. But, you know, elephant in the room. To me, that's fine. There's lots of actors and musicians and authors that I don't agree with anything that they say in real life, but I appreciate their craft. I don't even really like Ezra Miller's actor as an actor. I don't think he's really a great Barry Allen. But hey, if it's a good Flash movie, I've been waiting for a good Flash movie since I was a kid. So I wouldn't go see it in the theater or anything like that. I think Andy Muschietti's a very talented director. He did It. I don't know. I would wait for streaming on this one. But that's, guys, I don't go to the theater very often. That's just the thing. And that leads me to my next topic, you guys, which is people have been asking me like crazy. I have a NGL, not gonna lie, it's like a thing where you can ask someone anonymous questions. I have that on Instagram. If you guys want to ask me questions, you can do that. But here's the deal: is a lot of the questions I got is, what did you think of Spider-Verse? Guys, I haven't even went and seen Guardians 3 yet. Of course, I haven't gone and seen Spider-Verse. Now, here's the thing: that I liked the first Spider-Verse movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. Here's the thing: as a comic book fan, is I like Miles Morales. I love Peter Parker. And I know that Peter Parker was in the movie, but I like Peter Parker Spider-Man movie. So if this was a Peter Parker Spider-Man movie, yeah, I probably would have went and seen it. That's just me, guys. It's just I grew up with Peter Parker as my Spider-Man. That's one of my 3 favorite superheroes all time, right there with Batman and right there with Superman. I love Peter Parker Spider-Man. So it's not oh, you're a hater or something. I break my rule of, hey, I'm not going to see any more superhero movies if it's Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man. That's the only reason I even considered The Flash is because of Michael Keaton's Batman. But it just, I can wait, guys. These movies come out in 6 weeks now on digital, and we got the really nice home theater set up here. So I'm fine. I'm fine with doing that. And also, I heard the Spider-Verse ends in basically a to be continued. No, thank you. No, thank you. Glad I didn't take my kid to that and get that fit thrown. That's really great to know about. But yeah, we still haven't seen Guardians 3. It's just hard for us to get everybody to go to the theater. And the thing is, we usually, when we take the kids, we'll go to the drive-in here, and it's just been raining nonstop for like 4 months here. It was so bad earlier, guys. We lost power. I had to go get my flag because it was about to fly away. It was so bad. Yeah, so anyway, I'm glad you guys all wanted to know about the Houston weather. I didn't talk about last week because I want to make sure that people had time to finish watching it. The Succession finale on HBO, it was awesome. It was amazing, guys. I think that when a series that has been great sticks its landing, it's very rare. It's very, very rare. But I think the Succession absolutely nailed it, like to the point where like it had me like up in the middle of the night, like thinking about it, just how good it was. I thought it was. I mean, look, I've always thought that show was a tragedy, and I think that it kind of ends that way. So it's one of those things. Like I don't think that anybody was expecting a happy ending with it, and I've seen a lot of people really just kind of confused, I think, about the ending. And like with me, I've had several shows I think were absolutely great, and either they had one bad season, or they had a bad last episode, or they had an ambiguous ending or something like that. It never really worked for me. I now have a Mount Rushmore of shows where I think 2 rules: never had a bad season, and it went out on top with it really stuck its landing on the ending. That is Battlestar Galactica, that is The Americans, the FX series, that is Breaking Bad, and that is now Succession. That isn't my 4 favorite shows of all time, but that's 4 shows where I felt like they had an absolutely perfect run. No bad seasons, stuck the landing incredibly, incredibly well, and that's just very rare, guys. It's very rare, and I think that the legacy of Succession is going to be that it was able to do that the showrunner didn't, he wasn't seduced by the show's a really big hit. Why don't you just stretch it out one more season? No, he stuck to his original plan, went out on top, and went out with a bang. I loved it, guys. I hope more of you will give the show a try. It seems like it's very popular in niche audiences. I see a lot of people be like, oh, I don't really like it because none of the characters are likable. Guys, if you're watching this channel, most of the stuff we read have characters that no one likes. They're unlikable people, but we keep reading it because we love it. So it's one of those things like, look, you can watch a show like that, and it's about awful, awful people, but you know what? It has a great, great storyline to it, and you'll just see it's worth it if you just stick with it. I hope more of you will give it a try, and why I say about that, like it was a hit. It was a hit. It's won Emmys. The finale had 3 million viewers, guys, and that was pretty big for that show. House of Dragon has like 10 million, so it's like, okay, by comparison, yeah, not a lot of people are really, really watching. I think they said less than half of HBO subscribers are watching the show. So I hope it was one of those things where through time and word of mouth, people now will go through and binge it and have a great time with it. But it's just an amazing show, amazing performances all around. Some of the best acting, directing, and writing I've ever seen on the small screen. Incredible show, guys, and I'm going to miss the hell out of it. It's such a great show. Got a couple gaming talk things before I do go here. Real quick, just been playing Zelda, been playing God of War Ragnarok. We got Diablo 4, didn't get to play it very much. The Final Fantasy 16 demo is rumored to come out this weekend, and that can go a long way in deciding if I cancel my pre-order or not, because if I play that demo and I do not like it, I will be canceling that pre-order with the quickness. But this is one of those things where, like, guys, it's easy to see why I became a PC gamer. This is going to sound like first world problems. I understand that. Zelda came out, so I put my kid's Switch on living room TV so we could all play it down there because we all wanted to play it. There's 4 of us in the house. All 4 of us love to play video games, and all 4 of us want to all play them at the same time. And besides Diablo, they're all single-player games. So it's one of those things, like, I remember why I became a PC gamer originally. It's because I was tired of my wife complaining about me hogging the main TV in the living room. So that was the whole reason that I went to PC gaming. And so now that all of a sudden Nintendo, you can't exactly do that. And I got a PS5, and I got Diablo on that because I wanted us to be able to play together. But it's just like trying to wrestle the house for, an hour of time to play your game before you feel like you're hogging it and you want to give someone else a try. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I only get into this mode once in a while where I want a game, and it seems like the TV's always taken. So that's kind of the struggle that we are fighting through at the house right now. And I'm talking about Final Fantasy 16 coming out in a few weeks. So it's like, okay, maybe I need a vacation after everybody else goes back to school and work. That way I can have the TV to myself for a few hours to play. But again, I know there are greater problems in the world. Just tell you that's what's going on at the old household right now. But guys, that was my week. What is your week looking like? I'd love to know. I'll talk more about Diablo 4 after we played it for more than like a couple of hours. Didn't really get a chance to play it yet. But you guys, I know a lot of you guys are playing Diablo 4, and I'd love to hear about your experience so far. So why don't you drop in the comments, let me know about that. Let me know what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're listening to, all of those fun things, guys. And I'll talk to you down there.